Breaking news, 53-year-old Paul Boyd, the man who ran his car into football fans in Liverpool on the bank holiday, has been charged in court today with 7 different offences. But judging by the newspapers, you would think that he was one of the victims. So while I talk to you about his court case today, the charges that have been levied against him and who he really is, I want to flash you some of the headlines and quotes found in today's newspapers. The prosecution has been quoted as saying that Boyd used his car as a weapon when he ploughed into the crowd. Now, he injured 79 people ranging between the ages of 9 to 78. Now, 50 of those people needed hospital treatment. The case that he is facing is in relation to 6 of those that were injured. The hearing lasted a mere 12 minutes and Boyd was charged with 7 different offences, including attempted GBH with intent, and dangerous driving. Boyd has been refused bail because the judge deemed it unsafe for him to be released into society. So now that we've looked at the court case today, let's dissect who this man really is and why the media is trying to paint him as a victim. My research has shown that Boyd was actually a British Marine from 1990 to 1994. However, I cannot locate if he voluntarily left the Marines or if he was discharged. Now, once he left the Marines, he actually attempted a career in cybersecurity and IT, as well as receiving a degree in psychology from a red brick university. Boyd has been working in IT and cybersecurity for many years, including working with an NHS trust. And judging by his company's house profile, he's also had several dissolved businesses, and these seem to be around the genre of fashion. Now, I'm not sure why all of these businesses have been dissolved, but Boyd is a very affluent man. He and his family live in a 4-bedroom detached house on an estate worth £300,000. As well as that, his social media is full of pictures of him going on luxury holidays to beaches, to Dubai, to Disney World. So it seems that Paul and his family have had a very affluent life. Now let's look at who his family is. So from what we can see, Boyd has been married to his wife for 20 years. They have 3 teenage sons, and apparently the first she heard about this is when she recognized the family car on the television. Now, the legacy media has been running with the narrative of this is a good family man, a businessman, a Royal Marine, and oh, he was a nice fella. So if you have a look at some of the quotes that I've been putting up, they're all about how nice he was, how he was a family man, how his children are so well behaved. I'm not quite sure what his children's behavior has to do with what he has done. As well as that, there are headlines about how he was close to tears, how his head was down, how he looked crumpled. All of the words and the terminology used here, plus the photos that are in the article showing him as a family man on holiday, smiling, happy, they are all painting him as a nice guy who just made a mistake. You know, maybe it was mental health. Maybe he was struggling with his job or his marriage and he just lost it. Poor guy. It's true. The newspapers have mentioned that he's an ex-Marine and that he was a Marine for 4 years, but they're touting it as something wonderful when we need to stop and understand that a Marine is not a normal soldier. A Marine is a super soldier. They are trained killers. This is a man who spent 4 years training to fight, training to be violent, training to be desensitized And instead of using the weapons that he had in the Marines, he used his car as the weapon. Yes, he's a father. Yes, he's a husband. Yes, he's a businessman. Yes, he has a degree. Yes, he works in IT. Yes, he was Marine. But why are we painting that as things to excuse him for what he did? 79 people were injured, including children. British citizens were injured. Their feelings, the feelings of their family and their friends is not taken into equation at all when we paint this man as a victim. It goes without saying that if he was brown, black, Muslim, or an immigrant, the narrative would have been completely different. They would have been digging in his past for any tidbit of information that they could use against him. The words, the pictures would have been totally, utterly different. Let us not forget, this is not a poor family man who was stressed out and did something a little bit naughty. This is a trained Marine who used his car to attempt to kill innocent people in a crowd. And right now, we don't know his reasons why. And to be honest, I couldn't care. I hope they throw the flipping book at him. And my condolences go out to anyone that was physically or mentally hurt by this attack. And I personally believe it should have been framed as a terror attack. But hey, what can I say? He's a family man.